Welcome to a very special edition of The Create Unknown. Thanks to all of you, we had an incredible year, and before we do more, we've got Meat Canyon, Rusty Cage, CordWit, and others coming. We wanted to recap some of the absolute best moments of 2020 as chosen by us and our patrons. We've got Jay Schlatt, we have Michael Reeves, iDubbbz, psychicpebbles, and more. But we're going to start with Justin Whang, whose retweet is actually coveted currency in the YouTube ecosystem. He's also got a theory about the Boogie gun incident, too. Here we go.
It's funny, too, what you mentioned, with my retweets, that, the horror of it. Because one of, the lesser-known phenomenons of my retweets, sometimes, a very small account will post something really funny, so I'll retweet it. And every once in a while, they'll, delete it or go private because they don't like the attention, even if it's, positive attention. Wow. It just bothers them.
That's weird.
They want to remain lurking at all costs.
Yeah, they want to just, talk out into the world without being seen.
What is the point of that? It's just shouting into a void. And then when the void shouts back, you cower.
I get it when you, if it's, something where someone had a dumb take and everyone's shitting on them, but that's always been the weirdest thing that happens every once in a while. And
has a retweet ever gone wrong?
Has a retweet ever gone wrong? I mean, yeah. I mean, it goes wrong every time I retweet it. And then it'll be a very dry, sarcastic, or ironic joke. But someone will take it literally and we'll explain it to the person that made the joke with a well, actually kind of post. And I'll be tagged in it. So I'm like, oh, this is embarrassing.
There's always someone doing the well, actually, no matter where you are, whether it's on YouTube
Absolutely.
Or where you're on Twitter. And I mean, there was something I read where I had originally read that 10% of people do not understand humor, cannot get different forms of humor, say sarcasm, for instance, as a form of humor, would not understand that you would say something, but the intention is to mean the opposite of what you say. So,
yeah.
If 10%, that's a lot of people, that's 1 out of 10 that read the thing, think that your joke is very literal, then you're going to get a lot of responses from people who, I mean, Matt, what was the thing you got into weeks ago with someone? Gosh, it was on Vsauce 2 Twitter.
I can think of a number of situations that started out like that with Matt.
Yeah, it just turned into this contentious thing, so unnecessarily, where Matt was obviously joking, and it ended up being a 19 tweet back and forth conversation with the person.
Oh, yeah, I remember that because it got strangely deep. It wasn't 2 or 3 replies. It was many, many replies. And I can picture the thread in my head, but I can't say what it was about. I know that I replied to a tweet of yours where it just obviously was a joke. It would be very difficult to read that and not know that it was completely tongue-in-cheek. And yeah, a lot of people took that very literally and didn't let go of it either. And then the fault was mine. They claimed that the problem was me not realizing that it wouldn't be taken as a joke. There was no sense of responsibility.
It was the swimwear one, wasn't it? Where I
my God, yes.
I found this. Okay, so people hate Tumblr, right? Anytime I've ever linked to Tumblr, it's a lot of negativity. But Tumblr has amazing images that you can't find anywhere else for some reason, I've found. So I still go to Tumblr because there are a lot of really weird accounts that post old video game ads. I sent one old video game to you once, Justin, that was an old Sega Genesis ad.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
It was super cool. Yeah, so anyway, I follow a lot of retro computer accounts, a lot of 80s accounts. Anyway, this image popped of these people wearing swimsuits in an old computer room from 1983.
Wait, I think I saw that.
Yeah.
There's this, I think this account on Twitter, Computer Aesthetic or something like that.
That's
I think they posted that. Yeah.
That might have been who it was. So I posted it on Vsauce too, because it was such a weird photo. With the caption, "Swimwear was mandatory for using computers in 1982."
God, and so it's no, it isn't. This isn't true. You're making this up.
And then Matt,
I
ended
used
up in
a
an argument.
computer in 1980s and we weren't wearing swimsuits. This is false.
So a kid replied, obviously as a joke, saying, I don't know why this would be mandatory. And so I replied to him saying, if you don't understand why, you're never going to make it in this game.
Oh,
You're
God.
like, you're never going to make it in the tech sector or something like that. And that unleashed like a dozen people who said it had nothing to do with computers. Like I was wrong about that. And then when I said it was a joke, no, it wasn't clear that it was a joke. So I'm the one with the problem. And I'm just looking at this thinking like, I can't give up on this because it's just too weird.
Because it's so stupid that these people can't see this really. Like, it's not even like a subtle joke. It's very obviously a joke. And they're just refusing to understand anything besides the most literal aspect of it.
Like if I have an opportunity to engage in a conversation with somebody about why you don't have to wear a Speedo when using a computer terminal, I'm gonna get in that conversation and I'm not gonna go until it's over.
Sometimes that's the game you gotta play, and where not for their sake because they're lost, but for the enjoyment of the people watching. You gotta take what they're doing and like go even harder. You gotta whatever brain situation they're coming at you with, you gotta double it for comedic effect.
I looked at it thinking, all right, this person is troubled by what's going on, but I'm sure there are a bunch of people who are looking at this, having a ball watching it go down. So I'm just going to keep going.
There's a part of me, and I realize like Boogie is not going to like me saying this, and Frank probably isn't either. And I've realized I'm going into like Montreal screwjob levels of conspiracy theory here. Like, I remember how like Scott Hall said it at the end of the fucking Montreal Screwjob Dark Side of the Ring, and everyone told him what a fucking idiot he is about it. But despite the fact that there's legitimate police reports, despite the fact that I've had people privately mention things that were trying to lead me to believe that this whole thing is in fact real, there's still a part of me that wonders if there's like an aspect of this that is a work. And I feel like guys like Boogie and people like around him, like they've all got that pro wrestling brain where it's like, if you have the opportunity to take your keeping kayfabe into real life and even trick your friends and family, that's an exciting thing. So I feel like even if obviously it was fake, they wouldn't tell us it was fake, right? But they might tell people privately. But I don't know. I've still, there's a part of me that thinks there might be a work involved here at some point.
What's the end game on that though? So if they concoct this plan, it's crazy. They do all of this. How does it play out to be a good thing for Boogie especially? How does this work?
I honestly, I don't know. But I feel like there's like kind of like there could just be like a blanket idea that it's like, it's good. You have attention on projects, whatever it is that you're doing, you get attention and it just becomes something. Even if you don't have like a clear mastermind view of what it is. And I 100% know if Boogie hears this, he's going to be pissed that I said this because he went off on Monday and Matt for saying this. But
yeah, just the other night. Yeah.
I mean, it's probably
Matt asked him this and it was 20. Actually, it was more like 30 minutes. He asked exactly that question that you just posed.
Yeah.
And his point of view was that I'm looking at the evidence here and it seems worked up. He just asked him if it was, and Boogie spent 30 minutes completely freaking out on him for having the audacity to even question whether it's real, and then culminating in asking him if he molested babies. So that was a bit odd.
Oh, yeah.
But he was trying to make a rhetorical point there that I don't know if it worked. But he's vehemently denying that it's remotely possible that any of this could be fake. But at the same time, you're looking at it. We're all looking at it and thinking, yeah, there's a portion of this that kind of seems funny.
Yeah.
Wait,
it's in territory though, where like the truth of this could never, if it were fake, that is, the truth of it can never, ever, ever, ever come out, or these guys would be in such big trouble, like way more than they would be in now for what's went down.
Michael Reeves is one of our favorite evil geniuses, and he's got a unique workflow that runs parallel to his overall mystery, and a little bit about a piss cup.
Yeah, so much harder. It's because like I have a really just dumb way of working on videos and stuff in general. Like it's just like even the way I film is like I don't film it all and then go to edit. I'll film it like the intro and then I'll go to Premiere up in my room and then I'll put it in, I'll edit it all together. And then I'll go downstairs and I'll film like the next scene and I'll take the SD card and like fucking scamper upstairs and do the whole thing again. So I do it in like in, you know, I edit while I film, which is weird. It's just always how I've done it and just the only way that kind of makes sense to me. I'm not able to like visualize a whole ass video just off the rip. That shit's hard. So I kind of like Legos mega blocks building it kind of as I go. It's just easier to visualize for me.
That makes a lot of sense now that you say that, though, because there are so many different scenes and so many different setups, and there'll be like split-second jokes that it does seem like it would be kind of impossible to do all at once. Like I was telling Matt earlier, what video of yours was I watching? There was some video where you did like you were doing a montage scene, like you were getting ready to build the thing. And you have like a big whiteboard, you know, covered in calculations and drawings or whatever. But then the scene is you just drawing like a crudely cartoonish penis on the whiteboard. Yeah. And that was it. It was like a split-second joke. And that's a kind of a lot of setup for a 1-second joke, because you have that whole whiteboard with like that like looks very serious, and then you just draw a dong. And then the next shot is you like reading a book, and instead of the classic like lick your thumb to get, you know, some texture on it, to get some spit on it so you can grab the page, you just start like sucking. You just start like deep throating your finger.
It's so gross when people lick their fingers to pick books. So I want to make fun of it for a second, you know? Just fucking turn the page.
But it's are those jokes the thing you did just one day? Like one day you're like, I'm going to come up with some jokes for this montage, and then like that's the extent of your work on the thing for that day, and then you edit it together, and then the next day you work on the next part of the video? Like how is the sandwich made?
I don't know. I'll go upstairs. Like the intro is usually the hardest part, actually, because it's like I'm going from nothing to build off of. It's like a Minecraft block. You can't just put it down in the end in space. You need like something to build off of. But once I have the intro, like I'm like, okay, what would go next after the intro? Like what would make sense to go here? And then like I'm like, okay, I'll go film that. That's like, I don't know, if I'm a dumbass and I say some stupid shit, then that's a joke in there. But it's just like, do one thing and then I go and edit all together, see how that works. And I'm like, okay, it would make sense to do this next thing and then like some other shit. It's very hard for me to do anything else. I don't like the other way where you just film everything, plan it, and then go. That's why it's hard for me to like actually work with people. As much as I like would like to do collaborations, it's just like I just have this brain dead style of filming and editing stuff that makes it difficult. So this is my piss cup project.
Oh, okay. we're going to need plentiful description for the audio episode of what's happening right now.
Oh no, my battery.
This said that so matter-of-factly. So okay,
and a flow meter sensor, right? This is a funnel and a flow meter sensor, and so when you put liquid through this, you can detect the interrupts on this little ESP32 board, which is like it's like an Arduino that smokes crack. It's an Arduino that connects over the network. It can do WebSocket. It can do HTTP stuff. It's very cool. And so I go to the bathroom just so much on stream because I have this my bladder popped once when I was in high school. I'll tell you about that later if you want to hear. But I piss a lot, so I track it with this. I'm making the building of this on stream. So I'm going to put this in my toilet. We're on like the later stages of the project. I piss into the funnel, and then it sends that data to a WebSocket server on my computer that makes an OBS overlay for my stream that is a cup filling up with piss. And there's like combo meters, and I'm data logging everything in a Mongo database. And so you can call it back, do data science on my piss. It's like, I can't make this a video, but I think it's fun, and I like doing it on stream is badass.
Why
really
can't
cool.
you make it a video?
I learned
because we're going to make this a highlight on the highlights show.
Well, I don't like, I like this. This is fun. More, I'm not super like, oh wow, piss cup. It's more fun that I get to do all the technical stuff on stream for content, and then like the actual application for this is me gonna be like a couple streams just pissing into it, and then maybe doing some like data analysis on like my piss stream. Like, it's very cool. I got like a database set up, and we did like data logging. And you can make graphs out of like how much I'm peeing, like a curve. Yeah, that stuff is just so fun for that's what streaming is for me. It's like a dump for all the shit that I think is kind of cool but don't want to make a video out of.
That is a literal stream.
Yes. Yes.
First of all. Second of all, what is a combo when it comes to peeing? How do you combo your pee?
I don't know. Well, you can treat the data any way you want. So it's like every time the cup fills up, a little combo meter flashes on the stream. Combo 1, combo 2, combo 3, as many times as I can fill a cup. It's very fun.
Okay. So it has to do with the amount. Okay. How did you pop your bladder?
Oh my God. It's like right now, as I'm talking to you, I am filled with piss. I need to go to the bathroom. But in not high school, maybe a year after, I was at a sushi place with some friends. I was just like drinking water and like drinking a lot of water. And I had like many cups. I had to piss really bad, but you know, I wanted to pay for mine. Got to like the back of the line. It took for goddamn ever. They didn't have a bathroom in the sushi place, so I had to go to the mall bathroom. I went to it and I needed to piss so bad. And like, you know, as you're like undoing your belt buckle, like you suck in, right? So you can get the belt buckle undone. And so like as I did that, I felt like a physical pop in my abdomen. And it was painful. It was like almost audible, probably more to me because it was in my body. And I did my piss, but I was like getting super lightheaded. And and like my vision was getting gray on the sides, and I had to like sit on the ground outside for like 15-20 minutes to just recuperate. And after that I was fucking fine, but now I feel like I hold half as much piss. Like I need to go to the bathroom all the goddamn time now. So that's kind of where, you know, piss cup comes into play. On my stream, I'm pissing 10 times, 15 times a stream. Now they get to see how much I'm peeing on this OBS, the stream overlay, which is very, very fun. So I got to work with a lot of technologies for this. Like this is like so many technologies put together on like a dumb project. I got to learn how to use, like I had no fucking idea this existed. Someone suggested that I use this in my chat on my stream. And I was like, what the fuck is ESP32? I go learn what it is on stream. I learn to work with it. And it's cool. Like you learn new things, like just by doing random shit.
Jay Schlatt was one of our most popular episodes of 2020. He tells us about an exceedingly warm Captain Sparkle's mansion experience, and it gets even more heated about cereals and cereal residue.
I know Captain Sparkles, when he bought his Ford GT, like that fucking supercar that he keeps in his garage, he had to get like approved for it. He had to send in an application, and Ford was like, yeah, you're cool enough to buy this car. Apparently you can only get it if you're like super rich or like have some huge following.
A Ford GT?
Yeah, it's like this shit that you just see in Need for Speed. Like I didn't think I'd ever see one in real life.
Oh, I'm looking it up. It's insane.
Yeah, Ford GT supercar, Captain Sparkles, that Minecraft money, dude.
Yeah, mining those diamonds.
Yep. Captain Sparkles is like fucking narcissist, bro. We showed up to his house early this year, I think. It was in January. We wanted to know where he, because we were doing this whole shoot week thing for a group we had made, and we were chilling in a house in Hollywood Hills, this nice big house, and we were like, oh well, Jordan's in the area, we might as well try to link up with him and film some stuff. And we go to Jordan. I DM him, or Carson DMs him, and he goes, well, what's your address, man? We want to come over and shoot some stuff. And he goes, just Google it.
What?
Yeah,
okay.
Because apparently he had you know, he had all these articles written about him, about where he lives. So he's like, yeah, just fucking Google it. And so we Googled where he lived, and then we rolled up and we went inside. He let us inside. And dude, it was fucking 95 degrees in his house. And he shows up in this huge fucking mansion. Everything's white and tidy. Like there's nothing on the house is immaculate. He shows up in a black shirt and black sweatpants. And it is a fucking like greenhouse. It was like the most rich person thing I'd ever seen in my life. It was so fucking hot in his house. And he was just
Why
sitting
is that
there.
a rich person thing?
I mean,
why would you want it to be 100 degrees?
Well, no one else.
It's called air conditioning.
No one else is going to. I know this man has air conditioning in his house. I know for a fact he does. But, oh, dude, no one else keeps their house that hot. Except unless you're this egomaniac rich person. And that's nothing against.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
How is it a flex? I don't understand the logic.
He's overheating just because he can. Is that a real theory here? Why'd he stop at 95 then?
I don't know.
Why not hit triple digits?
Could have been a little hotter than that. But the second I stepped in, I just immediately started sweating. You know, he had his.
It was hotter inside the house than outside?
It was hotter inside.
What?
It was hotter inside than it was outside. Because his house is all glass too, you know? It literally was a greenhouse.
Okay.
Sounds that way.
Yeah. So, yeah. Then
I'm wondering if this is some sort of like sauna thing, like a health thing, like some sort of LA guru thing where you're like, just sweat out the toxins,
maybe it is,
man.
but I had never heard of it. I mean, usually if you want a sauna, you go to a sauna and, you know, you have that room that's hot, not the whole house. But again, it just supports my theory that it's some rich person shit. You can turn your whole house into a sauna. Dude, it's the fucking Minecraft money. And then he took us into his garage.
Yeah, but he was nice enough to let you
over.
He
was nice enough.
He was nice enough to
invite us
right?
in.
That was nice of him. He could have just said, leave me alone.
He could have. He very well could have just said that. But it gets worse. It gets worse, guys, because he was like, yeah, let's go to the garage. And we go into the garage, and it's a little cooler in there. This is where he stores his fucking supercars. And the Ford GT is in there, and it's, you know, one of the most beautiful cars I've ever seen in my life. He doesn't let me touch it or anything. And so right next to the Ford GT that's sitting in the garage is a framed photo of a picture of the Ford GT in the garage.
That's pretty meta.
The dude literally like took a picture of the Ford GT sitting in his garage, printed it out, and then put it up on the wall.
Man, why stop there? Just do a mural.
Yeah, as if he forgot.
Do a whole wall mural.
As if he forgot what it looked like. What part of the cereal tier list upset you?
Well, as soon as you drop this,
let me guess, Raisin Bran
in the Discord
because you're old.
Yeah.
Fucking, what do you like? What do you like?
Fiber cereal. Well, our overall champion was Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and you've only got it at B tier.
Okay.
And I think that was
very
the initial
easy,
gripe.
very easy explanation for this. Okay. Cinnamon Toast Crunch is a great cereal. I love Cinnamon Toast Crunch, but there's a better option available, and that is French Toast Crunch. You guys ever tried that?
I haven't.
I didn't expect you to.
I have. And I don't. Why is it better?
Because it's just a better tasting cereal. It's a better tasting cereal. It doesn't cut the roof of your mouth. The fuck are you talking about? It tastes like maple syrup. It's delicious. And there's no residue. If you just shovel the fucking shit out of the box like I usually do, instead of just eating it with a spoon like a normal person, like I said, like I'm a fucking caveman, dude. I just eat
residue
cereal out of the box.
A feature.
Yeah, what residue?
Residue is a feature, not a bug when it comes to cereals.
What the fuck do you mean? What residue?
You want a slimy reminder of the experience.
No, you don't. Listen,
yes, you do.
I eat cereal when I'm multitasking. I'm fucking editing when I'm eating cereal out of the box. I need no residue. I be scooping that shit. All right.
What is the residue?
How
just to slip on your hands?
You cannot work with residue on your fingers. And Cinnamon Toast Crunch is the fucking number one suspect when it comes to getting residue.
What? How does Quisp make A tier? That's another.
Wait, have you had Quisp before?
I don't think so.
So why are you even asking?
I don't.
Why are you asking what the ranking of Quisp if you've never had Quisp before?
There's the O's in S tier.
I gotta give you the rest. I gotta give you the rest. I haven't finished my fucking explanation about the Cinnamon Toast Crunch. All right, you're getting me off topic. Okay. French Toast Crunch is better than Cinnamon Toast Crunch, so it has to be lower. Cinnamon Toast Crunch has to be lower than French Toast Crunch, right?
Sure, that's fair. Yeah.
When it comes to maple syrup cereals, though, like French Toast Crunch, there's a better option than French Toast Crunch, and that's the Eggo cereal, which is just like immaculate. That is the best tasting cereal I've ever had. And so that means that French Toast Crunch has to be lower than Eggo on the tier list. So if you do the simple fucking math, Tabber, you get the fact that Cinnamon Toast Crunch has to be B. That is the highest it can go.
Okay, so it's just a logic game at this point. So how does Reese's Puffs?
I don't give a fuck. Reese's Puffs is fucking candy.
How's that
dude.
so low? Yeah, why wouldn't that make it high? I mean, how do you put that at C?
Because I feel like shit whenever I eat it.
Objectively a good experience.
It's not a good experience.
But
you don't eat Reese's Puffs and then go,
when you eat
I'm ready to have a good day. You don't.
You feel good about yourself. You don't have a blood sugar issue when you jam crunch berries in your face.
I feel great about myself. I feel terrible when I eat all berries. Oops, all berries. Fuck you. Because that's like Reese's Puffs. That's just fucking gluttony. You're eating oops all berries. It's disgusting. I really miss waffle.
I think we had Trix high too.
Fuck.
Our
Trix.
people voted Trix really high.
Trix sucks.
And I'm
not a big fan of Trix. That was our patrons like Trix.
Trix is a disgusting cereal.
I don't know why there's so much love for Trix, but it was really high. Like I think it was in the final vote for the best cereal.
What?
And I kind of at a certain point you just step back and realize that sometimes your community is monstrous, and you have to let that play out. And that was one of those points where it's like, I don't understand anything about what's happening right now, but if they want Trix, they want Trix. Thank God it didn't win, but I think it got second.
I want to say two things really quick here. One is that I've never had Eggo cereal, so I Googled it. And when you Google Eggo cereal, a picture of John Riggs comes up. And if anyone who doesn't know who John Riggs is, he does YouTube, he does gaming videos, but he's obsessed with cereal. Schlatt, do you know John Riggs?
Who it is.
Okay, if you're a cereal guy, then you're going to have to look up John Riggs because he is like the cereal guy. And the fact, dude, you Google Eggo cereal and a picture with his face shows up. What?
Really?
I mean, come on. That's amazing. Yeah.
I see a thumbnail where there's he's holding a box of Morning Summit, which looks like some granola kind of thing. And it says worth $13. Like, I'm just intrigued on how he's getting cereal value to that degree.
I see him.
Like why he's pumped about a $13 cereal.
He's obsessed with cereal. He's the cereal guy.
Sometimes it's hard to get cereal. Sometimes it's hard to, you don't see it on the shelf. You got to buy it on Amazon for like $10. I mean, that's the deal with Quisp. It's never never on the shelves. Never find Quisp anywhere.
Wait. So then my second question has to do with residue. I want to talk about residue. So residue is the stuff on your hands, you're saying. It leaves a mess when you eat it with your hands.
Residue is the sugar that's left over when you shovel Cinnamon Toast Crunch out of the box.
Okay,
that's
so
the shit that
how
gets
do you
left
feel
on your
then
fingers.
how do you feel about things like Cheetos?
I don't eat Cheetos.
Or Doritos.
I don't eat Doritos.
None of those snacks, because those are so much worse.
If I'm eating Doritos, I'm eating Cool Ranch, which leaves rather little amounts of residue in comparison to the original.
I'm sensing some inconsistency, and I don't like it.
No.
Okay,
I don't think I know what you're talking about.
We need to hold you to account here because you've got a problem with finger residue, right? Mm-hmm. You don't like it to the point where you don't eat Cheetos.
Yeah.
How did you open this recording today eating the #1 finger residue food in the United States, meaning wings? You were eating wings. You had blue cheese. You had a blue cheese disaster. And then you come on 43 minutes later and have a problem. Oh, I don't do finger residue. This is the bullshit lie.
I got one word for you.
When you get involved in the campaign.
Shut up. I got one word for you. One word. Fork.
Were they boneless? Were they boneless, or did you eat a bone?
They're basically chicken tenders.
Okay.
Oh, tendies.
Fork.
Okay. Why didn't you specify boneless wings when
Because I didn't want to seem like
you
a
started
pussy.
talking about wings?
Yeah, those
That's
aren't
right.
even wings.
You
Come
see,
on.
Kevin, I knew that if we pushed on this, if we pushed just the right spot hard enough, we would get him to break.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not saying I'm a perfect person by any stretch of the imagination. I have flaws. I've done despicable things, you know. But this is one thing I'm gonna stand strong on. I mean, I think boneless wings are a decent alternative to regular wings if you're in a bind and you need something to be quick and you relatively residue free because you eat them with a fork. If you look at my tier list, if you look at my tier list of all the cereals, you'll see that most of the cereals I like are just completely residueless. Sure, you'll get a little bit of sugar on your hands, maybe, but like
they're fairly clean. Yeah,
they're fairly clean. Fuck, man, I can't deal with Cinnamon Toast Crunch's residue, and I mean that has to have been in the back of my head, subconsciously as I decided to give it a B. I was just like, that is when you're talking about cereal residue, Cinnamon Toast Crunch is literally the first thing you think of.
It's S tier residue.
Definitely. If we're making a residue tier list, that's fucking S tier.
Isaac had a really good suggestion in the chat about cereal liquid tier list, because that's a completely different thing. Like, you can have a mediocre cereal that leaves a really good liquid after, and probably vice versa.
That's true.
And that would be interesting. Nobody's done this one, and I think somebody should.
It's not a bad idea at all, to be honest. I mean, most people would go with like a chocolatey cereal, I imagine, like Cocoa Puffs, I guess. But I don't know. I don't really like drinking chocolate milk in the morning out of a bowl. Is that just me?
Don't they sell this now? Isn't this a thing where am I wrong, where there is like cereal milk that you can buy? It's just the milk.
And it's definitely a flavor. God, is it like a Fruity Pebbles milk or something?
That sounds nasty.
Because Fruity Pebbles milk is famous for being kind of what it is. There's nothing quite like it. And I'm fairly sure that's a flavor of milk. Fruity Pebbles milk.
All right, I looked it up. This does exist, or at least it did, and maybe it went out of business. But I see Frosted Flake cereal milk, Cinnamon Crunch cereal milk, and some sort of peanut butter cereal milk. I don't know if it still exists, but it did at one point. I wonder if you just chug it.
That's gross, dude.
I think you'd sip it like whiskey.
Am I the only person that pours a reasonable amount of milk into the bowl and doesn't go overboard with it? Like I'm not sitting here with a full bowl of milk afterwards that I have to like pick the bowl up with my hands and sip it. That just seems like a waste.
Are you refilling it? Are you putting more milk in it constantly?
No. I mean, typically what I'll do is I'll start with the cereal, right? And then I'll pour some milk in. And then if I need more, I'll pour more milk in. But like, I'm not a guy who wastes milk. And that's good. That's like some good calcium and vitamin D that you're throwing away if you leave some in the bowl.
Were you disappointed that your PS4 didn't run Cyberpunk 2077 very well? SumitoMedia is about to further crush your gaming dreams.
Because if I said it then, I mean it now. It's like, I don't take back anything I said about Cyberpunk 2077's expectations. If you're upset because it's not running well on your PS1, get a better system. Like, that's it. I'm not apologizing for that. I'm sorry. That's a totally acceptable thing to say to a PC gamer. Hey, your hardware is not up to spec. Get something better. And yet when it comes to consoles, it's like, oh, you expect me to just have money for a PS5? It's only been 8 years. Like, no, step your game up. If you care about this video game enough to bitch about it online, play it properly. What are you, fucking stupid? Imagine complaining that you hated the visuals on Avatar, and you're like, yeah, man, it just looked like so much dog shit on my 480p projector at my grandma's. Like, you didn't experience it the right way. That's your fault.
Sorry, it's only been 8 years thing is very funny because it's true. I have seen a lot of people complaining about having to get a new console, and it has been like nearly a decade since the last one. It's like you couldn't scrounge together like $50 a year.
It's ridiculous, man.
iDubbbz jumped into the unknown at exactly the right time to talk about Leafy's ban from YouTube and how we all should approach a more heavily regulated future on the platform. And the persona question, that went poorly.
Let's talk about your best friend in the entire world. His name is Leafy.
Oh, yeah, that's a good start, man. I love this. We're getting straight into the good shit. Okay.
Into it. Yeah. What happened to your best friend whose video, you had a video that got removed about him. Now he's been removed. What's going on there?
Yeah, it turns out YouTube doesn't like sort of vitriolic content on their website. That's a big surprise. It's not like they haven't been telling us that for years and years. Yeah, I don't know. It's I tend to like the sort of Wild West of content, sort of like, anarchy, post whatever you want, kind of no repercussions. It's really cool, but not super realistic when it comes to a big business like YouTube, whose primary goal is to make money.
So for anybody who hasn't followed along closely on this, Leafy was a content creator a long time ago and made a lot of videos that he kind of ripped on people. That was his thing. And then he just dipped, took off from YouTube. And one of the best content cops that iDubbbz made was a takedown of Leafy, an examination of Leafy rather than a takedown, because a takedown might sound too strong. But yeah, it was great. And Leafy kind of dipped off the scene for a while. And there's this meme going around. I think Ethan Klein, I think H3 said, imagine Leafy coming back and trying to exist in today's YouTube climate. Well, he did for a very short while. And he made quite a few videos on Pokimane, like 10 or 12. And some of them had some elements that violated the YouTube terms of service. And just last week, his channel of about 5 million subscribers was completely obliterated by the YouTubes. And that catches us up to this discussion of the landscape. Now, you said vitriol. How do you define the vitriolic content?
How do you define it? I don't know. I'd probably have to remind myself of the exact definition of vitriol, but essentially, ripping on people. I think YouTube posted a sort of a rule update that gave very clear examples of the type of things that they don't want to see. And, it's not just, criticizing other people, it's making fun of like intrinsic attributes. I made fun of it in one of my videos. I had said, one of the examples was like calling a person a disgusting creature. Look at this disgusting creature's face, that kind of thing. And, it's very reminiscent of the video I made on Leafy. It was like very kind of offensive and, made fun of characteristics that he couldn't, prevent. It's not like it was a very fair critique or anything like that. It was just to bully. That was like the whole point. So, when you say things like that, you kind of gotta, I think at this point, expect that YouTube isn't gonna like that.
We talked about that with John Swan a couple months ago, because John made a video criticizing Suzy Liu for what he said were false copyright claims, just a kind of a litany of problems. But in that whole thing, he mentioned a part of her face that I can't use the word. But it's above the eyebrows and below the hairline, that entire area. He just, mentioned something about like one line like that. And his video got killed, and he took that line out and re-uploaded, and, it was good. The video still stands. It's almost 2 million views now. But that was another one of those cases where just pointing out some physical characteristic, for example, is going to get your video shut down at this point.
Was the Leafy content cop taken down because you made fun of his chin, like specifically, do you think? Was that it?
I mean, yeah. There's probably a lot of other stuff that I said in the video, but I mean, it was mainly like, I don't know, the whole video was bullying. That was like kind of the point. And yeah, I think it was just making fun of the way he does things. the chin, whatever else. And I think the chin was primarily it. You can look at every other content cop or video critiquing people that I've made, and you'll find that none of those were removed because I largely don't make fun of people's, physical characteristics that they can't help. Why was it the leafy one? It's pretty obvious, I think, by this point.
So what was your reaction when they did take it down? Were you just like, yeah, I guess so?
Yeah, I mean, I made a brief video mentioning it. It was like in the opening of the video, and it was like, yeah, it's like, what are you going to do? Of course they've removed the video. I honestly, I don't mind at this point because I'm not really banking on like that type of content. I knew it was very offensive at the time. And, now I have other stuff that I could, make instead, which feels really good. Yeah, I mean, I could see other content cops being removed in the future. And I can't say that it would really be too surprising, right? Because right now they're honing in on this idea of criticizing people for physical characteristics or characteristics that they can't help. And that makes sense. What you'll notice is that most commentators choose not to criticize that stuff because society as a whole has deemed that to be an irresponsible or stupid thing to criticize someone over. So that's why you see, really most commentators are just going to commentate about people's decisions or actions. And that's going to be it because we've decided that that's okay and good. But it's funny that me making fun of Leafy's chin is going to be removed before videos about the N-word, right? But that's going to be the next one, right? Because that's still offensive. So it'll just keep going, but it's not like what people say, I think, with the whole slippery slope thing, or it sets a scary precedent. It's like, it's not a scary precedent. It's exactly what's expected. It's going to keep happening. If you want to continue to make that content and or support that content, just fuck it. Like, if you think there's actually an audience for it, you have to go on Patreon or Gumroad or one of these websites that'll allow you to make it without fear of losing your, ability to make it.
Yes, we do have one more question for you. And it's a question that we ask all of our guests these days.
Yeah, I noticed that. I watched that in one of the previous ones. What is my persona? Is that what you're going to ask?
What is your persona? Yeah, what is it?
Yeah, probably big old sweaty nutsack.
That's it?
Yeah, that's my persona.
Nothing else? What else? Is it wearing a top hat or anything?
Oh, I forgot. They add details, don't they? Yeah, with like a cute little bow tie. Yeah, maybe I don't know, got stinky breath, something like that. So I start all my conversations with, how do you do? Is that what the persona thing's all about? My arch nemesis is, I don't know. Give me some help here, fellas.
Your arch nemesis?
Well, are you guys persona? Why are you asking this question if you guys aren't even... What are your personas? Let me ask that.
No, that's not how this works.
What the fuck? What are you going to announce it in the final episode? All right, guys, we're closing it down. You've always wanted to know what our personas are. Here it is.
Yeah, exactly. That's the last episode of The Create Unknown. And then it turns out it was all just a dream. Okay. So nutsack with a top hat and a...
Not a top hat, a bow tie.
Bow tie. Like Ms. Pac-Man.
Yeah.
Is it going to have a little mustache too?
A little pedo stash? Yeah, that's a great idea. You guys, you're going to write this all down in a Google Doc or like a spreadsheet or something?
Yes, we have people to do that for us.
No, that's a good idea.
GloZell lent her camel milk experience in a quest to tell us all about how not to manage money. And oh my God, the leeches.
It sounds like such an LA thing to me. Like, yes. Is that how that goes when you're in those circles? Eventually you've done all the things and like somebody introduces you to something like leeches and you're like, well, I got to try that.
It's like, oh my gosh, then if you try putting 14 karat gold all over your body, I have not. Girl, where do you get that? Well, like, why do I need gold on my body? What? It makes no sense now when I'm like, I need food, I use gold, in my crack. Like why I didn't need that.
Did you do that? Did you put gold on your body?
Yeah, I'm telling you the truth.
Like,
Kevin.
Oh my gosh. So
I'm done. Okay.
So how does this happen? Do you go like strip down to your underwear and then cover yourself in gold leaf for half an hour?
Yes, or longer. And I've been in oxygen chambers. So it's just so amazing what the Singleton Foundation is doing, because it's taking people, especially hopefully before they get to the outrageous things. Because that's what you want to do. You with people who are outrageous and you're trying to keep up with the Joneses. And at one point you are the Joneses. So you coming up with crazy things that your friends want to do. I was like, oh, let's just drink camel milk. Okay, let's go get that. Okay, like, why? Because everybody else drink cow milk. We don't drink no cow milk. Or some almonds. Who gonna milk an almond? But let's get a camel. You know what I'm saying? That's $30 a bottle. And the bottle's this big, and let's take a bath in it.
Eggy is one of our absolute favorite YouTubers and social media personalities. And the first thing you really need to know about Eggy lore is the school shooting problem, okay? And after that, we get to his freestyle TCU rap. And you mentioned the Oregon thing. If anybody listening doesn't know exactly what happened there, can you give a really brief summary?
Certainly. So basically, I'd kind of been a little bit of a pariah on 4chan due to the fact that I was on there a lot, and I identified myself, which was kind of against the culture. It's an anonymous thing. But due to certain things that had happened over a couple of years' time, I had began identifying myself. And so eventually people got really sick of me. They felt that I was just kind of, I wasn't in tune with the right kind of culture. And so we kind of had a little spat, and I sort of went my separate way. But following that, I went on a road trip to, sightsee and things like that. And I ended up going out to the West Coast, the Northwest. And while I was out there, I uploaded a video telling people, oh, I'm out here right now. So if anybody remembers me from 4chan, I'm kind of lonely. So if you want to hang out and get lunch or whatever, just hit me up. And the next day in Oregon, there was a shooting at a school. And the person who had allegedly been the perpetrator had posted on 4chan saying, I'm out here, I'm going to do this. And there was a quote that has been sort of, it's infamous now, of like, some of you guys are all right, don't go outside tomorrow and stuff, like whatever it is. Some of you guys are cool, don't go outside tomorrow. And so all of a sudden, boom, the shooting goes on. Immediately, somebody sends in a tip. Oh, there was this post on 4chan. Immediately, like, okay, 4chan guy in the Northwest. So they started putting things together. And then, of course, I had this YouTube where I'm talking about all kinds of things that sound like I'm a crazy, antisocial, isolated, a loner, radicalized by the memes and whatever else. And so people put this together. They're like, oh, I bet they would totally believe that he did it. And just as like a fun thing, And they did. They immediately, it was just like, whoop, instantly. And I didn't even realize it. Because I had woken up that day and I was getting an oil change on my car before I went back to the second half of my road trip. And I opened 4chan to read some things. And I pull it up on my phone. And it's just like, picture of my face, picture of my face, picture of my face, picture of my face. And it's just like all across the whole site. And I'm like, something is not right. Something is not right here. But I didn't realize it hit the news until, because I didn't have any social media. And then I opened up my phone and the only thing I used was Snapchat. And I opened up my Snapchat and all of a sudden I had like 100 new friend requests and I start accepting them. And it's Fox News and it's New York Times. And they're all trying to they're sending me Snapchats like, hey, can you snap me back? Are you alive? Or did you kill people today? And I'm like, all this stuff. So yeah, that's basically what happened. I didn't do it. I was sort of blown up for a minute until people realized that it wasn't me. And then it all kind of died down. But it was sort of like this big spotlight, this national spotlight that sort of was my first big exposure.
Yeah. So that's the kind of ultimate wrong place, wrong time combination of 17 different factors that result in something really bizarre. I mean, you mentioned, look, I think it's safe to say that nobody wants to open their phone, go to 4chan and see a dozen pictures of themselves. This is definitely going to go badly if this happens to you. But what happened, what was the aftermath like on that?
Well, actually, the way that I handled it was following everything. Like, I still had all those people added on Snapchat, and they still were continuing to message me. They wanted to have me be in the newspaper. They wanted to get the scoop from me. Oh, how did this go? And my reaction to them was I basically cussed them out. I'm like, you're out here, you're saying I did all this awful stuff. You don't even know who I am. You don't know anything about me. And now you want me to give you a story that's going to get your paycheck for the week or whatever. You're getting something for you. I'm getting nothing, except maybe like a few minutes of I'm not complacent. I'm not involved with what you're running. I'm not with that. I'm not going to give you anything. Don't talk to me. Don't just I basically cut the line. Now I actually did. There was a couple of guys who were more sympathetic to what I had gone through from like Storyful and like something else, who I did continue to talk with them like on the phone from time to time for some months afterwards, just kind of like getting they were kind of giving me some life advice and things like that. So that was all right. That was pretty decent, I guess.
And because you have such a unique talent for freestyling, I was hoping perhaps you would be open to the idea of doing an ad read for this episode of The Create Unknown as a freestyle.
I would be extremely happy to do that. So you want me to just get right to it? Just go right in off the top of the dome?
Yeah, the stage is yours.
Yep. All right, hold up. Okay. All right, this your boy, Egg White. We're checking it in. We keep it hotter than the skillet. I know that you feel it. Oh, I'm talking about the realest. Let's get it. All right. Ooh. I'm out here on Create Unknown, listening to it through your phone, headphones in your home. Boy, we put you in your zone. Go and throw the dog a bone. Throw the girl, she get it gone. Yeah, that we've been on for a couple hours long. Ooh, yeah, a couple hours strong. Ooh, yeah, my words, I got that ping pong. Yeah, they got that bounce. Oh, yeah, they got at least a pound, not an ounce, kilogram. You know that I am the man. Me and Kevin, yeah, we're gonna jam. Me and Tabor, we never bore. Never, that when we shoot, we score. Ooh, we're on top of the board. Yeah. Ooh, running the points up. I might be thumbing them joints up. Yeah, talking about the paper. Ooh, we cannot see a hater. Nah, boy, you try us, we'll annihilate you. Yeah, we're talking through logic and facts. Yeah, we kicking it like a kickback. Yeah, I feel like a pimp named Slickback. Oh, yeah, what else? Oh, you ought to tune in ASAP. If you haven't been listening, boy, you better listen now and lately and yesterday and today and tomorrow, boy. If you don't got enough dollars for the Patreon, $2, boy, you better borrow. It shouldn't have much interest, but we got a lot of interest in everything that we do, so you better listen in on YouTube. Ooh, let's go.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Oh, that was
Thank
amazing.
You.
Sonichu, occupying the body of Christine Weston Chandler, explained everything about the upcoming dimensional merge, and her Twitter followers know that that merge began a few weeks ago. Sonichu has had a hell of a run on the internet and gave us the best 3-second highlight in the history of the Create Unknown.
I'd love to get a sense of what's next for you, like in terms of your projects. I know that you mentioned that you're looking into getting your books published, which sounds like a really big project. What else is going on? What are you thinking about creating next? What are your goals?
Obviously, we're continuing the book series. It's still a continuous, and never gonna reboot our series, never gonna reboot our lives because you're Buddhist. So it's like, that's the fun thing about C197. The development, the growing rate is varying depending on individual, and it's even more depending on those who chronicle us. If we typically would age around as normal, if not as slower age rate. But depending on the creator, we can either really age slow or age normal, or normal in your terms, or fast. But essentially, in C197, Lisa Simpson is an adult, and she's running for president against Herbert Garrison, who's Donald Trump's self-counterpart there.
Who's going to win?
From
Who do you think is going to win?
Lisa Simpson's going to win.
Lisa
is
Simpson
that what the polls say, or is that what you think?
Wait. Hold on. Lisa Simpson is Joe Biden, and Mr. Garrison is Donald Trump?
I'm not saying that Biden is Lisa's counterpart at all.
Oh, okay.
But
I see.
Post-dimension merge anyway, she will be the president of the merged dimension of the United States post-merge anyway. So that's kind of that's a fade thing right there. That I shouldn't be giving too many spoilers, but Matt Groening already pretty much gave that spoiler. That future episode.
Mm-hmm.
There's that. that's one spoiler I could definitely indulge and letting y'all know about.
Can you give us another spoiler? It doesn't have to be a serious one. It can be anything. Like, what's something that, excuse me, what's something that we would never expect that we're going to get after the merge? Is there anything cool?
Let me wrap it up a little bit. I'm not giving you a sponsor or anything, but
cool. Is that good?
Yeah.
I wanted to try it.
Plastic, the reclosable tab. There's a plastic. I learned today there's a plastic thing underneath that literally keeps it sealed. So, when you close it, it closes that seal.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
Huh.
Anyway, so I guess something
That
else.
was a can of Mountain Dew Gamer Fuel, by the way.
Yeah,
just
with
for
the
our
reclosable
listeners.
cap.
Yeah.
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 It's awesome.
Let me see. What else can I post-merge?
Is there anything that is too scary to tell us? Like, are there things that that you really don't want, that nobody else can know? Is there a burden of holding those things in?
Among which, yes, but in the end, everybody's gonna continue living in a good, healthy, coexistent type of lifestyle. Except now it'd be like between, regular normal people who previously were considerably regular by this dimension standards, but in the post-merge, they're gonna find better heightened abilities, especially amongst the content creators, authors, writers, otters, and authors. But you see my point. Everybody's gonna have increased abilities post-merge.
Sure.
So yeah, there's that. There's that one, but also later on, we're gonna have like a mighty, powerful force that comes from another galaxy that we're gonna end up having to face together to help defend this planet from. But that's a whole different another kettle of fish right there that I'm not gonna go too much into. But hey,
it sounds like it's gonna be a wild ride.
Yeah, but yeah, hey, everybody will get to meet like Bruce Wayne, Clark Kent, Tony Stark. Captain America, they get inside Kim Possible, Mario, everybody get to meet. Everybody can have a chance to cross paths, meet their favorite OCs and FCs, and even their own respective OCs, and even go to Equestria or another planet. It's on an ease and so forth. So that's definitely
awesome.
gonna be good.
OddGuy, also known as EZPZ, was really our first truly controversial guest. His episode is a must listen if you haven't heard it already. He speaks for Encyclopedia Dramatica, so he's got a unique perspective on where we draw the line for making fun of people, or not at all. So we just talked about, big things and kind of general things.
Yeah.
What about a specific scenario? So, Kevin's entry wasn't bad.
No.
It really was.
Yeah, we didn't have.
There's no basis for any of it.
My mustache is
right,
bad.
and so somebody just.
Yeah.
I recognize that. You think I don't know that? I know that.
There's nothing in it that warranted, getting a hard time about whatever.
Yeah.
It's just a goofy thing, right? But what if an individual is really affected by the criticism and the ribbing that they're getting? So if it is on that Ethan Klein level where you load up the page and the first thing you see is, a naked butt being made fun of, which, by the way, it's not like that was an iPhone hack and a leak.
He posted
those photos himself, and now it's being used against him on that page. But this is one person kind of experiencing a fair bit of misery, so that however many people on the internet can laugh about it. What's the calculus there? Like, at what point is that not okay?
Well,
or is it always okay? If one person is laughing at one other person, is that is that weird? Or is it okay when it's a million people laughing at one?
Okay, well, there's several different ways to think about it. Some people used to view it, or still view it, that troll communities generally only really go after the degenerates, so to speak. People who sort of have it coming. They don't go...
The mechanophiles.
Yeah, the mechanophiles. Like, again, Kevin's article is... No one's going to read that and have a lesser opinion of Kevin. They're going to... that's fine. They're making fun of Kevin a little bit. If he had done something worth making fun of, that article would be a lot larger. And there would be a reason for it to be a lot larger, because he had done something to warrant it. The articles are consequences of people's behavior. We may hyperanalyze, but we rarely randomly make things up. Everything on these articles are things that we believe are, if not likely to be true, are possible to be true, or that if we were to write them, someone would read and think that's not true. That's just bullshit. That is clearly a joke. The worse person you are, the more critical the article about you is going to be, but that is completely a consequence of things that you've done. So again, if we weren't to make these pages, someone else on some other place on the internet would still be making fun of someone for their behavior. If you don't want to be made fun of on the internet for things that you do, don't do things that people will make fun of you for. That's really all it is. People have this desire to, I guess, partially overshare, partially not realize that the internet is still a real place. There are people on the other side of that screen, and they are critical of you and your behavior. That when you put something on the internet, unless no one saw that and you deleted it immediately, they can still find it. When you go onto the Twitter and say something like, for example, general example, not anyone specific, you say something like, I molested my sister and now everyone knows, and then people bring that up to your face over and over for the rest of your life. You chose to molest her, and you chose to publicly share that. So the onus is on you, in my opinion.
And is there any kind of, what do they call it? The right to be forgotten, where people have sued to try to get their names erased from Google searches and things like that. Is there any element of that that's appropriate?
I know that's a hard question, because, on one hand, I'll say this: if what you've done is big enough, is horrible enough, people will not forget you. It doesn't matter if you can get a few people to stop talking about it. If you went ahead and stabbed some guy and then you went to jail and you got out, people will look up your name and they'll find out that you stabbed some guy. The person who sued Google and asked for the right to be forgotten, the thing he wanted off of the internet is that he, I think, got arrested for not paying a parking ticket or something. It was some sort of traffic violation. Okay. If he had simply not made a big deal about it, he would have been forgotten because no one cares.
Yeah.
You will be forgotten if what you did is not worth remembering. You will not be able to silence every single person.
Is that the Streisand effect?
That is the Streisand effect.
Is that what they call it?
By the way, Streisand effect is trending on Twitter right now because of the Biden thing. And that's a great example, because I'm not going to get into details so your podcast doesn't get banned, but a political article was posted on the New York Times, and both Twitter and Facebook are trying to delete it from existence. Under the auspices of a variety of excuses. But that is the only thing on my timeline. I cannot get away from it. I was not even going to read the article. I just retweeted it without looking at it. And I kept seeing it so fucking much that I ended up saying, okay, I heard a weird sound.
Greg had to come back. Okay. Yeah.
That I ended up saying, okay, fuck it. If I'm going to keep seeing this on my timeline, at least I should read it. If there wasn't this big of a controversy, I would have never even bothered to look at it. The more you try to get rid of something, unless you have an unbelievable amount of power, or unless that is something that virtually no one cares about, you will not be able to make it go away. The only thing you'll do is draw more attention to it. The best thing you can do when people make fun of you is not to acknowledge it. Do not bring it up. Do not go on Twitter and make vague posts about, hey, some guy wrote something about me on the internet, because if you write that, people who follow you on Twitter will go out and look and try to find what is it that someone said about you. If you had never mentioned it, no one would know that there is something to look for.
And psychicpebbles continues to be an amazing guest, probably because of the life advice you're about to hear. And as a bonus, we get Because I Bitcha.
The great reality is if you put emails off for a day or two, and then you respond to 5 emails or 10 emails or whatever the fuck it is in one day, then those 10 emails respond back, and then it's you gotta do it all over again. It's a never-ending... Do you have that where it's all right, you put it off for one day and then you feel good about yourself because you knocked out 15 emails in a day, and then all 15 emails respond with something else? And it's it's never ending. It's like a bucket of water instead of a sinking ship,
The only winning move is not to play.
Yeah, to quit all of this and go be a painter in the middle of Illinois and delete all of your social media. That's the only way to win. Go start a painting business in the middle of Illinois and impregnate some beautiful 26-year-old and have 15 children with her It's the only way to really be happy in this fucking horrible world we live in. Hide Easter eggs around your fucking $30,000 house. It's a 10-bedroom because you're in Illinois.
Why is Illinois to you like the most desolate
I don't
place?
Just Iowa, anywhere, Colorado, anywhere in the middle of the country, flyover country. Go there and buy a $30,000 house, but it's a 15-bedroom, and you got 15 kids, and you have Easter egg hunts, and they go, Daddy, they run and they pick one up, and you go, you tussle their hair, and you're not thinking about emails or fucking subscribers or Keemstar or Pro Jared. You're just looking at the happiness in your son's eye, the genuine love.
So
family.
This is your escape plan. You've thought about this.
Yeah.
This is
I'm out of here, dude. I'm out of here. Are you kidding me? This sucks. You're gonna raise children. Are you nuts? I don't like waking up at fucking 4 p.m.
One of the reasons I wake up at 5 a.m. is because the neighbor has a bull that this bull bleats really loudly. I don't know if it's called bleating when it's a male.
A bull? What do you mean? Like a? You mean a bull?
Yeah, like male cow bull. And that kind of wakes me up. And so I've got like half of what you just described. I don't have any of the kids, but I feel like now I should go talk to Maura and be like, look, we should have kids. And it's not because I want kids. I just need to stop.
It's not because I like you. I just want the kids. Yeah, I just want exactly.
Yeah, but
it's Pro Jared all the time in my head. I can't stop. There's only one solution to this.
you already do this with the Easter. Zach's making fun of the Easter baskets and the Easter eggs.
I love that. I genuinely love the Easter. I want that in my life.
No, he forces his lady friend to give him an Easter basket.
He gets up at 5 a.m. He's eating vegetables and turkey and whatever else, and he's got a bowl next door, and he has Easter egg hunts.
Yes,
I want this guy's life. Let's do a body swap. Let's switch. Let's trade.
It must be 20 years where I've woken up on Easter morning to really nice Easter basket. I've never had one of the hunts for eggs, but yeah, I like black jelly beans a lot, and so I usually get a bag of the licorice jelly beans and some mini eggs and stuff like that.
Do you get those big ridiculous chocolate rabbits that you bite into the fucking ear and it's hollow? Do you get those things every year?
I used to. When I was a kid, I did, especially. Palmer is a company that makes those hollow rabbits too, and I came to resent Palmer as a company for.
Think it's a scam because the inside's hollow and it's not full of chocolate.
Yeah, I did see one at CVS yesterday that was on clearance because it's past Easter, and it was hollow, but it was huge. Like this rabbit was easily 2 feet, and I think the weight was like 2.5 pounds. So that, as far as hollow chocolate rabbits go, was really cool, but all the little ones are just awful.
This is what adulthood is. It's talking about the size and the girth and the weight of a chocolate rabbit at CVS. For all you kids out there, this is adulthood right here. Easter egg hunts and wake up at 5 a.m. and the absolute size, the incredible size of a hollow Easter bunny at CVS.
That's all we have left.
Yeah, it's all downhill from here.
I think we need goals. That's the problem.
Yeah. Goals. See, if my goal was to eat that whole chocolate rabbit, I would have been. If I had seen that rabbit, I probably would have been bummed out because I would have thought, I'd never buy that rabbit. Someone's gonna buy that rabbit. I'm not gonna. No, seriously, who do you think does buy those gigantic 2-pound rabbits? Who's buying that?
I think you could give them to a gaggle of children and just say like, "Hey, you 4 kids, why don't you split this big rabbit?" But
just let them take it apart like a zombie movie. Just let them destroy it.
It's like Night of the Living Dead 3.
Yeah. Just unleash them on
out its intestines.
Yeah.
I personally want to thank you for including the breastfeeding scene because
that's what I was just going to mention. That's
what
exactly
were you going to say about
it? I was going to say that I wanted Zach to know that he has created unknowingly the funniest thing in the world to you, Matthew Tabor, and that's the Because I Bit You video, which you showed at the Gremblo art show.
Oh yeah, I would have
addressed. I was thinking about it this morning.
I took that video down. People think I took it down because like Adult Swim bought it. I took it down because it was a contest video, and I was like, I just hate having contest videos that are like where you watch it, it's like, the contest ends in March 2013. It's like, it just drives me nuts. I wouldn't mind re-uploading it somewhere, but I took that video down and I was like, you know what, that was too funny for it to go to waste. So I thought I would repurpose it, and that's the story behind that. That's me being a hack. But
I want to tell you what it's done for me and how it's affected.
Yes.
How it's affected my life.
Yeah,
I was thinking about it this morning as I was having coffee before the sun was up. It was very nice. I'm not getting texts at that hour. Nothing's bothering me, and I really have time to think. And so this is what I thought about. When I watched that, I absolutely exploded, and I had to pause. It, and it was 10 to 15 minutes of laughing until I was going to throw up. And I was telling Kevin on Slack, I'm sending him messages that are like full of typos because I can't even type properly, about how sick I'm getting about this. But then I've spent all the time since, whenever the lady asks me something, I respond with, yeah. If something comes up, just in the kitchen, the best response is, do you know why I had to punish you?
Yeah.
At one point, she may have said that I was mentally ill and she didn't love me anymore, but I don't care.
Well,
this is my
tough
heroin,
love,
and it feels very good.
You did have to punish her. It's tough love. You know what I mean? You can't,
Wait, I want to hear Zach, you describe this video for people who haven't seen it. Exactly, like play by play.
The scene from the pilot or the original video that is now in the abyss.
Both.
So the original video, I was doing an art show contest, and I was like, I can't just put this out there as an art show. It's a little bit. I just feel weird about it. Logistically and logically, I shouldn't. It makes total sense to just put it. So I was like, I'll do a sketch before it, and I was walking around downtown of where I live, and I had that idea, and I was like, that's stupid. So I ran home and I recorded it, and it just consists of this ugly, horrible-looking character that's basically just a version of me, a warped, evil version of me, in a big black void, in a huge, gigantic void with a drone in the background, and he's sort of holding this thing by the back of the head, and clearly you're cutting in the middle of a conversation that something's already happened. You're kind of cutting in the middle of the action. And this little baby has a big bruise on its head. And he says, it's just him saying, like, do you know why I had to punish you? Yeah, because you bit me. Because you were bad. And he goes, yeah. And so it's just a conversation between a lover's quarrel, perhaps, or it could be a father-son sort of situation. I think the favorite stuff to me is to make stuff and to know there's a story, but to not really know what's going on. Just I don't even know what happened there. Like, I really couldn't tell you. I made it, and I don't know exactly what the backstory of that video is. It's kind of up to everyone's interpretation.
And I love that he has this big day. Do you want? Are you?
It was his big day. Yeah, exactly. What happens? He had a big day in the town. And something, in my head, something had a big day in the town, and then he got too excited. He got too, amped up, and he bit him, was what I think would happen. He was, too jittery and amped up. That's kind of what I think happened.
And how'd the bruise on the head happen?
I don't think it's even as malicious as him punching him or anything. I think he may have just dropped him in fear, and he kind of landed. I mean, again, I couldn't tell you what happened. I don't know. I saw exactly what you guys saw. I cut it the same, you know what I mean? Like, I have as much information. It's like when you're walking down the sidewalk and you see a couple fighting and you're like, ooh, I wonder what started that. I only saw halfway in. I don't know. I think he dropped him. I just can't see him hitting that kid as hard as he could or anything.
Michael Cusack is hilarious, and his animation talent is absolutely stunning. But his alter ego, Lucas the Magnificent, is making a comeback on social media.
I also need to ask you, before I forget, about the neckbeard character in episode 1. Because I lost it. I lost it at that character because it's such a trope online and has been for years. This like doffing the fedora milady character.
Yeah.
But I've never seen it in a show. And I didn't realize I never saw it in a show until that character showed up wearing what, like a Tamagotchi necklace or something?
Yeah.
In episode 1 in the pilot of YOLO Crystal Fantasy. So I just need to know everything about that character. I don't know his name. I don't know if he's going to come back, if he's going to be like continually stalking Sarah or what. But I just need you to tell me everything you know about that character.
I can tell you a lot about that character. His name is Lucas the Magnificent. And around 2014, when I was getting into, I was really into Sacha Baron Cohen at the time. I was on a big Sacha Baron Cohen kick. And I wanted to do like a character. So I came up with this character called Lucas the Magnificent, and I grow a really like shitty neck beard. I can't grow a good beard, so I grew out my my beard, and I shaved my mustache. So I had this gross kind of beard, and I bought a fedora off eBay for like $1 and got some reading glasses, and I made this character called Lucas the Magnificent. And you can find him on Twitter at Lucas the Magnif. And the whole idea with him was just to just tweet the worst, most like abhorrent kind of neckbeard tweets. He's like this gamer that lives with his mum, and he's like 23, and he's super into like Zelda and like video games, like Let's Plays, like that type of thing. And I was making him tweet a lot of Game Grumps at the time, like, oh, please let me be a member on Game Grumps. I'll do anything to be on Game Grumps. So it was like that type of stuff. I remember like doing that a lot. It was just like supposed to be a satirical character. I took a lot of pictures of myself with like daggers and like Nintendo 64 games, and was like, you can find it all on Lucas the Magnificent's Twitter. But the funny thing about that was the girlfriend I was living with at the time really hated it. Like, she fucking hated that I was doing this. Like, she refused to go outside with me because I still had because I did this over like a week or two where I was like getting all the pictures of me because I wanted to get like 1 million pictures so I could just save them up over like a year and release them over time. So I didn't always have to keep this beard. But even just like a week or two was too much for her. She refused to go outside with me. Like, we were going to go to Woolworths for a grocery shop once. And she was like, I'm not going out with you like that. I was like, what do you mean? She's like, I will not be seen dead with you with that fucking neck beard. I was like, oh, but it's for my character. She's like, I don't give a fuck about your character. So yeah, I was a bit of a loner on trying to do that one. But the funny part about that, Lucas the Magnificent, is it actually got the attention of Zach. Zach saw Lucas the Magnificent's tweets because I, as Michael Cusack, must have retweeted one of his, and he was already following me because, we were animation peers at the time. We weren't talking that much at all. But I retweeted Lucas the Magnificent's tweet, and Zach saw him and started being like, oh, this guy's real. Like, and no fault of Zach, because I think like the whole point of Lucas the Magnificent was to try and make him as realistic as possible. So no one thought he was fake. And I remember Zach messaged me and was like, oh, have you seen this Lucas the Magnificent guy? And I was like, yeah, he seems like a bit of a nerd neckbeard. Like, we just talked about Lucas very briefly. And like, I just wanted to see how long I could keep it up for. I just want to see how long like I could do it, because no one knew my face as Michael Cusack. So I was like, oh, I want to see if this character can just like live for a while and no one can guess it's me. But after a while, people figured it out. Like, there was an article like, is Lucas the Magnificent Michael Cusack? And then I'd get some tweets as Lucas the Magnificent where it's like, oh, you're obviously him. So it got found out, and I don't really keep it a secret now, but I still use that account every now and again if I want to do some Lucas tweets. But sorry, I got so off track on the deep lore of the origin of Lucas the Magnificent. But that then transitioned into YOLO, because at around like 2 years after Lucas's birth, I was trying to figure out how to put him into some type of TV show that I was trying to develop. I was always just trying to develop projects like that. And he jumped from a few until he finally landed in YOLO Crystal Fantasy as the Australian neckbeard that kind of just shows up every now and again. But he's also in Smiling Friends on Glep's iPad. If you look close, when Alan says, Glep, did you take a paper clip? Like, he turns around to Glep. You can see Lucas the Magnificent is on the iPad. That's me actually doing a video when I was living with my girlfriend, when I had to do like videos like outside or when she was at work. So she wouldn't, because she fucking hated it. So yeah, it was all for the art.
That's when you know it's good. Yeah, you have to seclude yourself and
if your girlfriend's pissed off at anything you're doing
in hiding.
I think you're on the right track. So yeah, never let that shit make you not do something, for sure.
And we finish with Happy Console Gamer giving us a rundown on just how to do it. And it's a perfectly positive note to end 2020 on. Tots, Dumpster Crew, Infantry, Babies, Creators, Space Cowboys, thank you. We had an amazing year, and we're excited to kick off 2021. Thanks again.
So I try to do 3 things when I do a video. First of all is number 1, please myself. Play a game that I enjoy and really enjoy that experience, or try to enjoy it. Create a video that I think people would want to watch and do some editing that people would semi-enjoy. And also do a video that's going to reach a lot of people, type of thing. I've done about 1,000 videos, so I've covered myself, so I want to have a video that just does well, type of thing. So I try to do all of those things, but I'm very particular about what I play. I don't review Call of Duty games. I don't do that because I can't bring anything to that. That's irrelevant for me to do. I don't play Assassin's Creed games because I'm not really a big fan, but I know a lot of people love it. I'm not the guy to do that. So I think what it is, I pick and choose very meticulously what I'm going to do. I actually, next to me, have a list for every month of the games that are coming out that I'm interested in. Not just every game, only the ones I'm interested in. So for this month, it's very, very simple. It's like 4 games. Trials of Mana, it was Resident Evil 3, Final Fantasy 7, and I think, there was one game I thought was this month. It's for May. But so it's about 3 games. Those are the games I've been interested in for the month. So just picking and choosing, type of thing. I don't get burnt out though. I don't go, oh no, video games. I'll tell you though where I was. Oh yeah, I know. I escape into video games, not away from them. But I tell you, the one thing that does burn me out is playing games in a very tight review window. So I got the review code for Final Fantasy VII on a Thursday, and I finished it on Saturday. And it was, that was a 24-hour playthrough, bare bones. No, I did a few quests and all that. And I did play on classic mode, which is easier. I'm not saying it wasn't. I'm not trying to say it wasn't. But I needed the core game to see what it was all about and all of that. So that burnt me out. I was near the end of the game, and I was like, oh my God. I'm dying. It's just like my eyes are going square, or it was really a little bit tough on that. So some of those can really kill me. I remember Fire Emblem was another one that did that to me. That killed me. Doing that one. And my wife was away in Italy at the time, and I was just me, and I was just I was just doing 14, 15-hour days playing it. It was pretty tough. Yeah. But hey, I am not complaining. I'm playing a video game early. I'm not complaining. Don't get me wrong. I'm not complaining, but I take it seriously to really to get through the stuff and to really give an honest impression. And I always give an honest impression, but I'm playing Fire Emblem. I love Fire Emblem. And it's a great Fire Emblem game type of thing. So yeah, that's how I kind of do all of that stuff.